In an ironic twist that only the digital age could serve up, it seems even the great Oprah isn't immune to a social media slip-up. Picture this. You're scrolling through your feed when you see Oprah praising the Microsoft Surface, claiming it's her go-to gift for the holiday. Quite the endorsement, right? Well, not so fast. Eagle-eyed followers quickly spotted something amiss. The tweet was sent from an iPad, the rival tech of the Surface. Talk about being caught in the act. Not the best look when you're trying to give a shout out to a product that supposedly won your heart. Or at least that's what sponsors would like everyone to believe. It's a modern day tale of endorsements gone wrong, and a reminder that on the internet, someone's always watching. This mishap with Oprah leads us into a broader conversation about the authenticity of celebrity endorsements. In the age of social media, it peels back the curtain on the fact that sometimes endorsements are less about personal preference and more about contractual agreements. It's a stark reminder to consumers that while celebrity backing might bring a product to our attention, it doesn't always mean it's their genuine gadget of choice. Oprah has been called out for using weight loss medication, despite being a longtime ambassador for Weight Watchers. The famous talk show host confirmed she was using this medication to help her weight. In a revealing chat, she said her slim figure is thanks to the medication and a healthier lifestyle overall. She's admitted to using the weight loss med Ozempic, and no one is saying that she should be hated for doing what she wants to her body, but she should think about the unrealistic standards she has set when she was initially lying about taking meds for weight loss, while promoting Weight Watchers. Oprah has stepped into the spotlight not to host a show, but to address the recent criticisms around the People's Fund of Maui, a cause she passionately advocates for. Along with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Oprah launched this heartfelt initiative, seeding a staggering $10 million to assist those affected by Maui's devastating wildfires. The goal was straightforward: provide direct financial support to the victims. However, not everyone saw it that way. The internet erupted with heated debates, some accusing the duo of not doing enough despite their considerable donation. Oprah's reply? She genuinely believed that their contribution was substantial, the kind that would typically receive a standing ovation at fundraising galas. But the morning after their big pledge, instead of applause, there was a digital uproar. I woke up, checked the news, and was met with a barrage of negativity, Oprah recounted on CBS Mornings. Describing the intense scrutiny she faced, Dwayne Johnson, deeply connected to the islands by heritage and childhood memories, has yet to weigh in on the controversy. And let's talk about the time Ludacris made an appearance on Oprah's show. Now, the dude was there to shine a light on his role in the movie Crash. You know, that intense drama from 2004 that snagged a bunch of awards, but things didn't go as planned. Luda opens up about how instead of focusing on the movie, he found himself in the hot seat, facing some tough questions about his hip-hop lyrics. He wasn't shy about saying the final cut of the interview seemed to lean heavily in Oprah's favor, with some of his key points on the cutting room floor. She kept her own comments while a lot of mine got axed, he shared in a GQ interview. It turns out Luda wasn't even slated to be on the show initially. They called him up last minute, and after all that, Oprah had a private chat with him expressing her views on what it means to feature rappers on her show. Ludacris compares the whole experience to an awkward visit where you feel like the host isn't thrilled to have you over. In a scorching critique, actress Rose McGowan has leveled some heavy accusations against one of television's most beloved figures. In an explosive tweet, McGowan lashed out, calling Oprah as fake as they come. She expresses a sense of vindication that the public is starting to see a side of Oprah she perceives as disingenuous. McGowan, a pivotal voice in the #MeToo movement, doesn't mince words, openly wishing the renowned talk show host's authenticity to match her public persona. The Twitter war between Rose and Oprah has made headlines, with many wondering where the root of their animosity lies. It seems that McGowan's main issue with Winfrey stems from her perceived hypocrisy in light of recent events involving an extremely controversial person. She's been vocal about holding powerful figures accountable for their actions, and in this case, she believes Winfrey is not practicing what she preaches. This raises an important question about how much we truly know about the people we idolize and put on a pedestal in our society. In her stirring speech at the Golden Globe Awards, Oprah once again demonstrated why she is considered such a powerful and motivational figure. Her successful entrepreneurial journey, her impactful philanthropy, and her natural heartfelt connect with people are truly commendable. However, there's a twist in the tale. Over time, Oprah has, through different media avenues, unintentionally promoted some questionable health practices. This very aspect had the scientific community in a bit of an uproar. On YouTube, we often talk about the influence celebrities have on public opinion, and Oprah's case is particularly fascinating. Notably boosted Dr. Oz's popularity, who, despite being a charming TV personality, has faced criticism for advocating medical advice and products lacking scientific backing. Consider the episode with the green coffee bean extract, a supposed weight loss miracle that fell flat after closer scrutiny and legal intervention. It's concerning when only a fraction of health recommendations on a show like the Dr. Oz show stand up to scientific validation. And yet, even after distancing herself slightly by canceling Oz's radio show amidst professional pushback, Oprah maintains ties with him, showcasing the complex relationship between media influence, celebrity endorsement, and evidence-based medicine. In another contentious twist in media careers, Oprah played a pivotal role in the rise of Philip, Dr. Phil McGraw, who now reigns as daytime TV's top earner. Portrayed as the valiant hero who saves people from the grips of addiction, Dr. Phil's approach is not without its detractors. A joint investigation by Stat and the Boston Globe cast a critical eye on the Dr. Phil show, revealing troubling allegations that in chasing ratings, the welfare of certain guests was jeopardized, facing withdrawal without proper medical aid, and episodes indicating coercive nudges towards dangerous situations just to procure meds. As intense as these revelations are, the show's spokesperson denies them all. Further probing unearthed evidence suggesting that the carrot for treatment centers to buy into Dr. Phil's virtual reality venture, a series of VR scenarios where he offers advice, is none other than the promise of publicity across his and related platforms. While Oprah Winfrey's intentions in championing alternative medicine are likely well-intentioned, her influence has unfortunately had a negative impact on scientific understanding amongst the American populace. This phenomenon, often referred to as the Oprahification of medicine, is a concern that surgical oncologist Dr. David Gorski, a contributor to the science-based medicine website, has expressed disappointment over. As pointed out by A.V. Salk of the Washington Post, should Winfrey ever decide to enter the political arena, her advocacy for unconventional medical practices could present numerous challenges that would need addressing during her campaign. With an estimated 44 million viewers per week, Oprah has a powerful platform to spread her beliefs and opinions, and while she may have good intentions with her advocacy for alternative medicine, her influence has unfortunately led to a dangerous trend of misinformation and pseudoscience. Dr. Gorski points out, Winfrey's promotion of unproven or debunked treatments can have harmful consequences for those who trust her and follow her advice. In the Apple TV Plus docuseries, The Supermodels, Cindy Crawford has dropped some bombshell comments about a moment with Oprah that's got the internet seriously buzzing. So buckle up, because we're going back to 1986 when a 20-year-old Cindy graced the Oprah Winfrey Show. But here's the twist. Cindy, alongside her agent, John Casablancas, didn't just sit for a chat. She had to stand and showcase her model physique. Fast forward to the docuseries, and Cindy is calling out this moment as not cool, especially by today's standards. It's a real look-see moment as Cindy felt objectified, a stark contrast to Oprah's celebrated history of empowering women, but hey, opinions differ. And entertainment reporter Stephanie Taki offers a different angle, reminding us that supermodel status is often tied to their iconic figures. Was it just the nature of the 80s showbiz? Was it more about respecting Cindy's legendary career? Cindy's comments have sparked a debate about the treatment of models. In recent years, there has been a significant shift towards body positivity and embracing all body types in the fashion world. In an Elle magazine interview back in January 2006, which later circulated on TMZ, 50 Cent offered a critique of Oprah, suggesting that her originally targeted audience and point of view had shifted. He claimed Winfrey, once a voice resonating with black women, had progressively directed her content towards middle-aged white women to the point where he felt she represented that demographic. 50 Cent's remarks were accompanied by a symbolic gesture of naming his dog Oprah as a subtle jab. However, the rapper and talk show icon addressed their differences in an episode of Oprah's Next Chapter, where 50 Cent highlighted that he felt targeted by her critiques, which directly opposed the themes in his music.
Number 10. Fabricated memoir. Oprah launched her book club in 1996, a reading-encouraging segment for her talk show that turned any book that she chose into a bestseller. In September of 2005, Winfrey picked A Million Little Pieces, a brutal and painful memoir by James Frett about his years-long struggle with substance control issues. Now, A Million Little Pieces became the best-selling non-fiction book of the year, and Frey was asked to appear on her talk show to discuss the book that Oprah called gut-wrenching. However, the following year, a news outlet ran a very expositive article about Frey after it was discovered that he had made up or juiced large portions of his memoir. For example, there is a section of the book that tells a story of Frey surviving a fatal train crash that took the lives of 2 teenagers. Yeah, he was never on that train, nor did he have any involvement in that situation. That was just something he thought it was neat to put in his book. Weeks after the article broke, Oprah asked Frey to return to the show, where he faced livid viewers and an even more livid Oprah. She told James that she felt duped and betrayed, a feeling that was shared by her audience and millions of readers around the world. She asked why James felt the need to lie to herself and to her readers, and he tried everything, making every excuse that he could think of. He claimed that he altered a lot of the details, but that the overall plot was real. Yeah, that claim caused the studio audience to respond with a massive wave of boos, gasps, and groans. Winfrey later apologized for the mistreatment from her audience, as it was not really her intention, but the damage was already done. His career as a writer is non-existent. Number 9. Harry and Meghan. Harry and Meghan have appeared in the public eye more and more in the past few years. After leaving the duties of their royal family to live on their own, they decided to capitalize on their so-called fame by releasing a series of different medias, books, podcasts, documentaries, and in 2021, they sat down with Oprah Winfrey to air every single piece of dirty laundry that they had left in their hamper. Of course, the royal family does not appreciate their secrets being shared with the entire world, so not only was everyone blacklisted by them, but the interview kinda soiled their reputations as good people. According to fans of the Oprah Winfrey Show, the interview made the couple look more villainous than it was intended. Following the interview, their public image was slightly tainted, and with more media coming out, it made the situation so much worse. Meghan got a podcast and couldn't come up with material for the first year. They made a documentary that people didn't like, so who knows what they'll get up to next. It certainly won't be anything good. Number 8. Lance Armstrong. 7-time Tour de France winner Lance Armstrong has gone down in history as a man who is unable to ride a bike without chemical training wheels. In an interview with Oprah Winfrey in 2013, Lance was brought on to discuss the allegations floating around regarding his status as a Tour de France winner. Several sources claimed that Lance had to take performance-enhancing substances to win all of his races, as well as a type of transfusion involving the red life juice that lives inside all of us. Armstrong went on air and fessed up to every single thing that they were claiming he had done. However, he did deny the notion that he was some kind of a mastermind who was controlling his teammates and forcing them to join in his extracurricular activities. But amidst his admission of guilt, say that 10 times fast, I can't even do it once, there was a moment where he tried to pin the situation on his battle with cancer. He wraps it up by saying he should have tried harder to cancel the culture rather than create more of a problem. He was stripped of all 7 Tour de France titles and has since lived in exile among the cycling world. Number 7. Where's the beef? In spring of 1996, the United Kingdom apparently experienced an outbreak of bovine spongiform encephalopathy, or mad cow disease, because I can't pronounce that. According to the FDA, the disease destroys cows' central nervous systems, and if humans eat the infected meat, we get zombies! No, but they can contract a deadly variant called Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. During the mad cow scare, the Oprah Winfrey Show booked Howard Lyman. The former cattle rancher had adopted a vegetarian lifestyle and went to work for the Humane Society's Eating with Co-Science Animal Welfare campaign, and he appeared on the show to discuss the threat of mad cow disease to Americans. He pointed out that feeding the remains of a cow to an infected cattle or other animals could facilitate the spread, and that such practices were common in the United States. Oprah was stunned and vowed that she would never eat a burger ever again. Her influence and her millions of viewers, though, were so large that only a few hours after this episode aired and she declared that she'd never eat a burger again, the price of beef stocks plummeted, staying at an all-time low for 2 months. One Texas rancher lost an estimated $6.7 million and organized a class action lawsuit against Oprah and her show for talking trash about beef. Well, after 6 weeks of the trial, she won, leaving one man with no farm and out thousands and thousands of dollars in legal fees. Number 6. Tom Cruise. Despite this guy being in the Mission Impossible franchise, he has been in a lot of movies produced by himself. You didn't think Hollywood forgot about Oprah Winfrey's interview with him, did you? I certainly will never. Following the announcement that he was engaged to Katie Holmes in the early 2000s, Tom appeared on an episode of the Oprah Winfrey Show. That is surely the most chaotic moment in TV history. From the moment he steps on stage, things just start to go horribly wrong. He throws his arms up in the air, he rubs her like she's a genie, and he's trying to get a lamp out. Seriously, I'm not sure what his thought there was, but he was nuts. Tom jumped on her couch, he grabbed her hands over and over again. She couldn't even get the questions that she had out. Eventually, Oprah was like, I don't care anymore, just bring this lady out. And the cameras followed him around as he ran through the studio trying to find her. Looks like a nature guy running through a jungle with his camera crew. The moment cemented Tom as a man with many hidden personalities, and while it has not affected his work as an actor per se, ever since that day, whenever he's brought in for press or any kind of interviews, all entrances and exits must be locked. Again, this guy may be in movies still, but it's rarely anything new or exciting. Number 5. Jay Leno. In 2004, NBC announced that the late-night host Conan O'Brien would be taking over as the full-time host of The Tonight Show, replacing Jay Leno in 5 years. When those 5 years passed and it was time to upgrade, NBC did not want to lose Leno to another network, so they gave him his own talk show in a primetime spot. The Jay Leno Show failed to capture an audience, and The Tonight Show with Conan O'Brien was not an instant ratings smash. So, by the early 2010s, NBC had dismissed Conan and threw Jay back into the fold. Jay became public enemy number 1. People thought that he was the reason Conan lost his job. Oprah invited Leno onto the show to share his side of the story, and he didn't do much to save face. He wrote the entire thing off as dramatic and a mess, and then decided to play the victim card, claiming that he felt sucker punched by the backlash. He also admitted that when he announced his eventual resignation, that he was 100% lying to everybody's face. He wasn't getting out of there anytime soon. He then argued very passive-aggressively that NBC was right to reinstall him because under Conan's poor ratings, it marked, in his words, the first time in 60 years of The Tonight Show that it would have lost money. A poll was conducted on Oprah's website, and the consensus was that 96% of the audience hated Leno and missed Conan. Eventually, Jay was replaced by Jimmy Fallon, and Conan O'Brien's show, Conan, was a massive success. Number 4. Monique. The beef between comedian and actor Monique and Oprah Winfrey goes back to 2010. Monique had just won an Oscar for her performance in Precious in 2009, and leading up to the film's premiere, Oprah interviewed Monique's brother Gerald, who Monique claimed to have been physical towards her growing up in a truly dark way. In a since-deleted Periscope video, Monique claimed that she gave Winfrey her blessing to do the interview, but was shocked and disgusted when her parents were in the audience. In the years that followed, Monique eventually forgave Oprah for creating such an uncomfortable moment for herself and her family. But following the show, Monique and her family did not make up. Exposing that kind of personal family information on TV destroyed the chances of anything, any kind of relationship ever materializing. Number 3. Mackenzie Phillips. When people see the words tell-all interview on their screens, there is an instant sense of mystery and we get hooked, especially when that celebrity is known for their outlandish behavior and highly documented substance use. Viewers of the Oprah Winfrey Show were probably still pretty unprepared for what was about to happen, though. The former One Day at a Time star Mackenzie Phillips appeared on her show in 2009 to promote and discuss her soon-to-be-released tell-all book, High on Arrival. She read aloud a passage describing how after waking up from a substance-induced blackout, she discovered her father John was physically forcing himself onto her. When Mackenzie confronted him, he denied everything, but she continued and claimed that the relationship did eventually become consensual, and that's when the audience turned. Mackenzie came on a highly publicized television program and aired her extremely dirty laundry to the world. The world, or should I say her family, responded to the claims, and they were actually shocked and felt that these were completely untrue. Ever since that interview, her career and her relationship with her family and, well, everybody has been dark and rocky. Number 2. Sarah Ferguson. The royal couple are still something to behold, something that a lot of people in the world wish to hear about as often as possible. Back in the day, instead of Harry and Meghan, they had Sarah and Prince Andrew. Now, much like how Meghan and Harry came on Oprah's show to discuss their side of their story, Sarah did the same in the 1990s. Ferguson sat down with Oprah to discuss her time in the palace after 10 years of marriage to Andrew ended in divorce. According to Ferguson, living in the palace was anything but luxury. She told Oprah that the royal family life was not a fairy tale, but more of a dreadful existence adhering to nitpicked rules. For instance, the windows at the palace could only be opened a certain amount so that they all look in line. And she was reportedly berated one day when she opened a window and was told that it was the wrong thing to do. She also detailed the treatment that she had been receiving from the British media, who were and still are extremely invasive. She came back on the show a few times to basically go over the aftermath of the previous interview. Turns out the royal family doesn't like it when you trash it on TV. Who knew? And at number 1, Terry McMillan. One thing that Oprah loves to do is bring couples with issues onto her show to make a few bucks off of their problems. Best-selling author Terry McMillan based her novel How Stella Got Her Groove Back on her own life. Like the book's main character, she was a successful, divorced, middle-aged woman who found love again with a man 2 decades younger than her. According to Oprah's website, in 1995, McMillan took a trip to Jamaica and fell in love with a 20-year-old named Jonathan Plummer. Before long, they moved in together and got married, but they eventually split in 2005 when Plummer revealed that he was gay. Revealing the truth to the world resulted in a tabloid frenzy, and the couple started bad-mouthing each other to the press, with Plummer successfully suing his former wife for spousal support. The argument between these two came to a head thanks to Oprah Winfrey. Hosting both of them on her show in 2005, she allowed them to confront each other live on stage and let out all of their pain and frustration. Shortly after, Macmillan sued Plummer for $40 million, citing emotional distress and destruction of reputation. The altercation on her show left Macmillan feeling like she needed to make a statement, and she did. In doing so, she ruined the reputation of herself and her ex.
Let's jump right in with Rose McGowan. We're gonna discuss the controversies surrounding Hollywood's prominent figures and their relationship with talk show host Oprah Winfrey. Rose McGowan, an influential figure in the #MeToo movement and star of the Scream franchise, is distanced from this trend. McGowan brought attention to a photo from the 2014 Critics' Choice Movie Awards, which shows Winfrey kissing a disgraced producer in Hollywood. McGowan captioned her tweet with some strong words saying, "I'm glad more are seeing the ugly truth of @Oprah. I wish she were real, but she isn't," and added that she is supporting a sick power structure for personal gain. She is as fake as they come, #Lizard. This tweet sparked a lot of debate and speculation among fans, with some defending Winfrey and others criticizing her. However, it's important to note that this is not the first time McGowan has called out Winfrey. Now, we all know how relevant Oprah has remained within the industry, so do you think she's part of the problem in Hollywood? I mean, she's pretty powerful. Let us know in the comments below. On to the next, Seth MacFarlane. MacFarlane? I don't know. In a tweet posted in 2020, MacFarlane acknowledged Winfrey's positive influence through her career as a television host and philanthropist, and praised her for using her platform to bring attention to important issues and making a positive impact in society. However, he also expressed his disappointment in Winfrey's frequent promotion of pseudoscience and conspiracy theories on her talk show. He urged Winfrey to use her influential voice to promote facts and science instead of spreading misinformation. This tweet sparked a debate among fans of both MacFarlane and Winfrey. Some supported Seth's call for accountability, while others defended Winfrey's right to her own opinions. Despite their differences in opinion, both MacFarlane and Winfrey have used their platforms to bring attention to important social issues. Even those who we admire and respect are not immune to criticism and should be held accountable for their actions. Kid Rock. Kid Rock has never been one to hide his feelings towards Oprah Winfrey. As TMZ highlighted before, Kid Rock had a public outburst about Winfrey at his own establishment, Kid Rock's Big Honky Tonk and Steakhouse in Nashville, which resulted in him being escorted out. He tweeted, "Years ago, my team tried to get me on the Oprah Winfrey Show. Her team wanted me to list 5 reasons why I loved her and her show. I flatly refused. That's the end of it." Kid Rock hasn't been shy about expressing his feelings. In 2008, he clarified his sentiments, telling The Independent, "Oprah Winfrey just doesn't sit well with me. I don't trust her. Maybe that's because I'm not one of the 150 million women who hang on her every word." Damn. Kid Rock has made his disdain for Oprah evident on multiple occasions. In 2010, he went as far as calling her a bitch during a live performance at the CMA Awards. However, Kid Rock's animosity towards Winfrey seems to stem from more than just personal feelings. In an interview with The Guardian in 2015, Kid Rock explained his dislike for Winfrey by saying, "I don't hate Oprah, quite the opposite. I have a lot of admiration and respect for what she's been able to accomplish in her career. My issue is with the way she uses her platform to push certain agendas and manipulate public opinion." It's obvious Kid Rock believes Winfrey has too much influence over her viewers and uses it to push her own agenda. He also expressed concern over the potential for her to sway political opinions, stating, "I think that's where a lot of people get turned off by Oprah or any celebrity using their platform for political gain." Up next is Seal. Singer Seal didn't hold back his disapproval of Winfrey making his feelings known on social media. Back in 2018, the acclaimed vocalist, best known for his hit song Kiss from a Rose, leveled allegations against Winfrey, claiming she had knowledge of a disgraced producer whose name shall not be named, his actions for decades. He posted a now deleted Instagram photo of Winfrey with said producer with a scathing caption, "You'd heard the rumors, hadn't you? Yet you turned a blind eye to the truth that he was preying on unsuspecting, ambitious young actresses. Apologies for my oversight." He continued, "When you've been a part of the problem for decades, yet everyone suddenly sees you as the solution, #sanctimonious Hollywood." Singer Seal's comments about Oprah Winfrey and disgraced producer sparked controversy and brought attention to the larger issue of
assault and harassment in Hollywood. While some praised Seal for speaking out, others criticized him for his harsh words towards Winfrey. This incident also highlighted the complicated relationship between celebrities and their involvement in important social issues. It serves as a reminder that everyone has a responsibility to educate themselves and use their platform for good. The conversation about misconduct in the entertainment industry continues, and it is important to listen to all voices and work towards creating a safer environment for everyone. So we must ensure that our society provides equal opportunities and safe spaces for all individuals. Only then can we truly progress towards a more inclusive and just society. Up next, Ludacris. Following his role in the 2004 movie Crash, Ludacris, otherwise known as Christopher Brian Bridges, made an appearance on Winfrey's TV program. The intent was to discuss the film, but the conversation took a different turn. Ludacris told GQ she got many of my points, keeping hers intact. It's her show, but we were discussing racial discrimination, and I felt she was challenging me excessively as a rapper, disregarding my role as an actor for the show. He added, at first I wasn't even invited to the show, it was only the night before when they rang me up to say I could come. After filming, Winfrey and I had a short 5-minute chat. The impression I got was that she believes by hosting rappers, she's giving them more power. It felt like being in a place where you're not welcome. It was already quite awkward. Following the controversial interview, Ludacris received backlash from both fans and critics. Many accused him of being disrespectful towards Winfrey and not understanding the purpose of her show. However, Ludacris defended himself by stating that he was simply speaking his truth and standing up for himself. The incident shed light on a larger issue within the entertainment industry, the portrayal of rappers and hip-hop artists. Many have argued that these artists are often stigmatized and pigeonholed into negative stereotypes, while their talents as actors or intellectuals are overlooked. Jason Momoa. In the aftermath of the devastating wildfires that swept through Maui in August 2023, Hollywood star Jason Momoa pointed fingers at two prominent figures, Oprah Winfrey and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Momoa charged them with, in his own words, stealing money from the poor. This controversy arose from a fundraising initiative that Winfrey and Johnson had organized with the aim of aiding the victims of these wildfires. In the months following the controversy, both Winfrey and Johnson have responded to Momoa's allegations. In an exclusive interview with Oprah magazine, Winfrey stated that she was deeply saddened by Momoa's accusations and denied any wrongdoing on her part. She explained that the fundraiser had been a collaborative effort with Johnson and that all of the proceeds went towards helping the victims of the wildfires. She also added that she had personally donated a large sum to the cause. Angelina Jolie. In an unexpected twist, it appears that two globally recognized humanitarians, Angelina and Oprah, have had some friction. When Winfrey was launching her esteemed project, the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa, she reportedly reached out to Jolie for assistance. However, according to an insider's account shared with Star Magazine, in 2007, Jolie declined. Winfrey had anticipated Jolie's support given her love for Africa. Disappointed, Winfrey vowed never to ask for Jolie's help in her humanitarian projects in the future. The source also claimed that there might be unresolved issues between the two, stemming from Winfrey's support for Jennifer Aniston during the well-publicized split with Brad Pitt. In recent years, there have been multiple reports of tension and rivalry between Angelina and Oprah. While both women are highly influential figures in their respective fields, many wonder what has caused this apparent friction between them. David Letterman. Many assume the beef between David and Oprah started because of an awkward joke at the 1995 Academy Awards, but according to Letterman, the disagreement actually sparked well before that. In a 2010 episode of The Daily Show, he told Jon Stewart, "The feud predates the Academy Awards. She had a problem with me long before then." He narrated an encounter from a vacation they both happened to be on. Oprah was with Stedman and I was with my then girlfriend Regina. We were having lunch at the same restaurant. I jokingly told Regina, "Let's have Oprah pick up our check," and that's what happened. Letterman convinced the waiter that Winfrey would pay for their lunch. This, according to Letterman, is where the feud started, but Oprah has a different take on the feud's origin. In a 2012 interview with CBS News, she said she felt uncomfortable on his show and avoided any contact with him for 16 years, during which he continuously made jokes at her expense. They've since reconciled their differences. Joan Rivers. In her first national television debut on The Tonight Show in 1985, Oprah Winfrey faced an unexpected blow from the late Joan Rivers. As Winfrey recounts in her book, Food, Health, and Happiness, she was just getting comfortable when Rivers threw a curveball question, "So how'd you gain the weight?" Winfrey was taken aback on her big day with the word fat echoing in her mind. Winfrey explains further that Rivers from behind Johnny's large desk scolded her for letting herself gain weight. Rivers' manicured finger pointed at her, reminding her of her single status and challenging her to lose 15 pounds before her next visit. And finally, 50 Cent. In the 2006 edition of Elle magazine, rapper 50 Cent made a controversial comment about Oprah Winfrey, referring to her as an Oreo. He voiced his dissatisfaction, arguing that while Oprah started her career focusing on the perspectives of black women, she had gradually shifted her attention towards middle-aged white American women to such an extent that he believed she had become one of them. To throw further shade on Oprah, 50 Cent even named his miniature schnauzer after her. However, in 2012, they set their differences aside and had an open discussion on an episode of Oprah's Next Chapter. Visiting 50 Cent at his grandmother's house, Oprah listened as the rapper expressed his grievances about her show's apparent snub of hip-hop artists and her stance against the use of the N-word. The relationship between celebrities and media moguls like Oprah is complex and ever-changing. Some stars have used their platforms to voice their concerns or share their experiences, painting a multifaceted picture of the celebrity life and the media industry. Starting off with objectifying Cindy Crawford, Oprah Winfrey, the queen of talk shows, found herself in the middle of controversy for asking supermodel Cindy Crawford to stand up during an interview to show her body. It happened on the Oprah Winfrey Show, a platform known for its profound conversations. Oprah, always a straight shooter, asked Cindy to stand, catching the supermodel slightly off guard. There was a mix of reactions, with some viewers thinking it was completely normal given Cindy's status as a world-renowned supermodel, while others saw it as somewhat objectifying. In hindsight, the controversy invites a conversation about body image, respect, and the way we view celebrities. It's important to remember that even as we appreciate the beauty and talent of individuals, we should always strive to respect their comfort and consent. So what's your opinion on this controversial moment? Do you think Oprah was out of line, or was it just an innocent request in the context of the interview? Be sure to leave your thoughts down in the comments section. Reflecting on the encounter 37 years later on Apple TV's The Supermodels, Cindy said, "I was like the chattel or a child, be seen and not heard." As an iconic supermodel who has graced countless magazine covers, walked down hundreds of runways, and fronted successful advertising campaigns, Cindy Crawford is not one to shy away from the fashion industry's dark side. In the latest Apple TV docuseries, she opens up about her early days as a model in New York City and how she felt pressured to conform to unrealistic beauty standards. Next, asking Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen what clothing size they wore. When Mary-Kate and Ashley appeared on the show in 2004, Oprah brought up rumors that they had eating disorders. After the 18-year-olds told her they tried not to read the good or the bad things people wrote about them, she asked what clothing sizes they wore. This just goes to show how early body image issues can start for young girls in the entertainment industry. Being in the spotlight at such a young age can lead to a warped perception of what is considered normal or acceptable. As they say, beauty comes in all shapes and sizes, but unfortunately, that message isn't always portrayed in Hollywood. The pressure to maintain a certain weight and appearance in the public eye can also lead to unhealthy behaviors and lifestyle choices. Eating disorders are a serious issue that can have long-lasting effects on an individual's physical and mental health. It's important for young girls in the entertainment industry to have a strong support system and to prioritize their health over societal expectations. But it's not just celebrities who face this pressure. With the rise of social media, everyone is now under constant scrutiny when it comes to their appearance. Asking Nathan Lane about his sexuality. During an interview with Oprah, the issue of Nathan's sexuality was raised given his role as an openly gay character in the movie. Being a private person, Nathan wasn't prepared to delve into this topic publicly at the time, but displaying his quick wit and camaraderie, Robin smoothly diverted the conversation by cracking a lighthearted joke. During the talk show, Robin showed his support for Nathan's character and shared how important representation is in the entertainment industry. He expressed his admiration for Nathan's talent as an actor and praised him for being brave enough to take on such a role. It was quick thinking on Robin's part, but this just goes to show the ignorance in Oprah's interview style. In a 2023 episode of Sunday Sit Down, Nathan expressed his feelings about his encounter with Oprah. He said, "I don't think Oprah was trying to out me, but I said to Robin beforehand, I'm not prepared. I'm so scared of going out there and talking to Oprah. I'm not prepared to discuss that I'm gay on national television. I'm not ready." And Robin said, "Oh, it's all right. Don't worry about it. We don't have to talk about it. We won't talk about it." Rest in peace, Robin Williams. The issue of representation in the entertainment industry is one that has been gaining more and more attention over the years. It's obvious that there is a need for diversity and inclusivity on screen. This also extends to the LGBTQ+ community, where representation has often been lacking or stereotyped. However, with the increasing demand for more diverse and authentic storytelling, we are seeing a positive change in the industry. Drew Brees' awkward moment. During a 2010 appearance on her show, Oprah made an amusing error when she encountered NFL quarterback Drew Brees. Oprah tried to wipe away a smudge on Drew Brees' face, thinking it was a lipstick stain, but oh wait, there's no lipstick. It's Brees' birthmark. Talk about a live TV moment. Brees handled the situation with grace and explained it to Oprah, who seemed genuinely surprised and quickly moved on with the interview. Personally,
Personally, I think she shouldn't have even touched him without permission, but we can see this trend already where Oprah doesn't seem to have boundaries when it comes to the guests on her show. However, this incident highlights a bigger issue in our society, the pressure to conform to certain beauty standards. Reese's birthmark is a natural and unique part of his appearance, yet Oprah's immediate reaction was to try and remove it as if it were an imperfection. It's important for us all to learn from this mistake and recognize that everyone is beautiful in their own way, birthmarks and all. We should celebrate our differences and embrace them instead of trying to hide or change them. This also extends to other aspects of our appearance such as skin color, body shape, and hair texture. Society often puts pressure on individuals to fit into a narrow definition of beauty, causing self-consciousness and insecurities. Prying on Elizabeth Taylor's life. In a classic moment from 1988, Elizabeth Taylor expertly sidestepped Oprah's probing questions regarding her rumored love interests. This amusing interaction saw Oprah playfully chiding Elizabeth for her evasive answers. But this moment also shed light on the many issues celebrities face, the constant scrutiny of their personal lives and relationships. As public figures, they are often subject to intense media attention and speculation surrounding their romantic partners. This intense focus on their love lives can take a toll on both their mental health and relationships. Many celebrities have spoken out about feeling like they constantly have to defend and explain their relationships to the public. This can lead to feelings of pressure, invasion of privacy, and even relationship strain. But celebrities aren't the only ones affected by this constant scrutiny. It also affects their partners, who often have to deal with being thrust into the spotlight without consent or choice. This lack of privacy can make it difficult for their partners to maintain a sense of normalcy and can strain the relationship. When Oprah and Elizabeth Taylor had playful banter about dating rumors surrounding the actress, Oprah was insistent on getting a straight answer from her guest, but Elizabeth playfully dodged her questions and kept the conversation lighthearted. This exchange between two powerful women in entertainment sheds light on the pressure celebrities face to constantly address things that's going on in their lives. It is a little exhausting, and I probably would hate that too. But despite their celebrity status, these women were able to have a playful and genuine interaction, showcasing the power of strong female friendships. Now on to the next. This might be one of the worst ones I've seen. Asking Michael Jackson invasive questions. In 1993, Oprah asked Michael Jackson if he was a virgin, then pressured him to answer when he tried to skirt around it. This moment on the Oprah Winfrey Show sparked controversy and backlash, as many viewers felt it was inappropriate to pry into the personal life of a celebrity. It also shed light on the double standards and intrusive nature of media interviews. The controversy surrounding Oprah's question to Michael Jackson illuminated the intrusive dynamics often present in celebrity interviews. Public figures, while certainly subjected to media scrutiny, still possess a right to personal privacy. This incident drew criticism as it seemed to cross boundaries of personal decency, delving into a topic that many believed should be considered private even for a public figure. The backlash demonstrated a growing public awareness and rejection of such invasive media tactics, thus further fueling discussions about the ethics of celebrity journalism. As an influential and popular talk show host, Oprah had a significant platform and could easily manipulate the direction of the conversation. Michael Jackson, on the other hand, was a guest on her show and may have felt compelled to answer personal questions in order to maintain a positive image or not offend his host. This power dynamic further highlighted the problematic nature of this particular interview and other similar incidents in the media. Inappropriate interview in front of kids. The Turtles were on stage, surrounded by a sea of ecstatic kids. Then Oprah, in her inimitable style, decided to stir the pot. She asked the Turtles a relationship question about their human friend April O'Neil, a relationship question to a bunch of mutant turtles in front of an audience of children. But let's get back to that question from Oprah. Why did she think it was acceptable to ask that in front of an audience filled with kids? Sounds irresponsible to me. Let's take a closer look at the situation. On one hand, it could be argued that Oprah was simply trying to have some fun and engage with the audience by asking a lighthearted question. After all, the turtles are fictional characters and therefore not subject to the same societal norms as real humans. On the other hand, we can see why some might find it inappropriate. The turtles are portrayed as young, impressionable heroes who are meant to be role models for children. Asking about their romantic relationships could potentially send mixed messages to young viewers. On to the next, asking Dolly Parton what she's gotten done. The legendary Dolly Parton, an icon known for her country music and vibrant persona, was a guest on the Oprah Winfrey Show. The interview was sailing smoothly until Oprah, with her trademark candor, ventured into a topic that celebrities often shy away from: cosmetic surgery. Yeah, you heard it right. Oprah asked Dolly Parton directly about her cosmetic surgeries, which felt a little out of place or even intrusive to some. And how did Dolly respond? With her signature humor and grace, of course. course. She openly admitted to having numerous surgeries but added a twist to it. Dolly joked that if she had the money to make herself look the way she wanted, why wouldn't she? Her honesty and confidence in her own choices was refreshing and empowering. On to the next, about Brad Pitt's tattoos. A 2008 interview with Brad Pitt and Cate Blanchett on the Oprah Winfrey Show. During the interview, a curious viewer called in to ask Brad about the meaning behind his tattoos, but here's the catch. Brad chose to remain tight-lipped about it. Brad shook his head with a smile. I don't really want to talk about them. Interestingly, Oprah didn't let it go just there. In her trademark style, she turned the question back to the fan, leading to a lively and intriguing conversation, completely disregarding the fact that Brad initially did not want to talk about them. Asking about Burt Reynolds' toupee. In a 2021 episode of Literally with Rob Lowe, Oprah admitted to making a significant error. She recalled asking Sally Field an impertinent question about whether her then partner Burt Reynolds slept with his toupee on. Following this, she described the actor's reaction as becoming distant and unresponsive. In the interview, Oprah shared how she regretted asking such a personal question and how it affected her relationship with Sally Field. This incident serves as a reminder that even influential figures like Oprah can make mistakes and should take responsibility for their actions. It also highlighted the importance of being respectful and considerate in interviews, especially when discussing sensitive or private topics.
Number 10, unseasoned chicken. I dislike unseasoned food more than anyone, I think. Well, probably the same amount as any other person of color. Anyway, Oprah definitely feels the same way I do, because when a guest on her show presented her with a plate of beige, sad-looking food, she took a bite and immediately asked for extra salt and pepper to be added to this dish of food, to which the guest responded, "There is no salt and no pepper." Moment of silence here for the poor bird that died just to be cooked in such a disrespectful manner. Oprah was shocked. The audience was shocked. The dead bird on the plate was shocked. Everyone was shocked. I don't know how this lady thought it would be a good idea to feed a multi-millionaire, ultra-famous, hella influential black woman a plate of unseasoned chicken. Like, girl, go get some culture. Go taste some mashed potatoes that aren't made from powder, please. Number 9, Jay Leno. In a jaw-dropping interview on Oprah, Jay Leno unleashed a ton of confessions and excuses, revealing the messy reality behind his return to The Tonight Show, in which he was accused of having a part in the network's decision to reinstate him as The Tonight Show host while canning Conan O'Brien. Admitting to telling a white lie about retiring in 2004, Leno blamed the chaos on a multitude of factors, including being sucker punched by Jimmy Kimmel while he appeared on The Leno Show. Oprah, surprisingly unsympathetic, challenged Leno on his past jabs at fellow comedians, particularly Jimmy Kimmel's big jaw remark, which led to Leno hitting back at him with dark jabs at Letterman's unfaithfulness towards his wife. Leno defended his decision to accept the role on the show as an attempt to keep his staff employed. He acknowledged the show's failure but justified taking back his old job when offered. A surprising poll result from Oprah's audience revealed overwhelming support for Conan O'Brien in the midst of the mess. Leno's attempt to deflect blame onto NBC's handling of the situation took a dark turn, and the interview left viewers questioning Leno's actions and motives, making it clear that the fallout from this Oprah appearance would definitely linger. Number 8, Cindy Crawford. This American model and actress was a guest on the Oprah Show in 1986 when Crawford was just 20 years old, alongside John Casablancas, who was her rep at Elite Modeling Agency at the time. In the resurfaced clip, Oprah asks Casablancas if Crawford has always had her body, before asking her to stand as she states, "Now this is what you call a body." Well, now the supermodel had appeared on the docu-series called The Supermodels, where she reflects on this moment, and she refers to herself as a child because she had not felt seen and not heard. Crawford admits she didn't notice it at the time, but now looking at it, Oprah does state, "Stand up and show us your body. Show us why you're worthy of being here," which made her uncomfortable as the model says this is not okay, especially from Oprah. As of now, Oprah hasn't commented on this situation, but many viewers have spoken up about this moment that was captured for television. Gig King was actually asked about this situation, where she admits she hasn't seen the clip but has heard about it, stating she felt disappointed and surprised in Oprah. However, there isn't any feud or anything between Oprah and Crawford, according to King. As she stated, "As far as I know, everything is good between Oprah and Cindy." What do you think about Oprah's requests to Crawford during that interview? Number 7, Elizabeth Taylor. In 1988, Elizabeth Taylor joined Oprah for an interview where she was questioned about her relationship and the myriad of dating rumors surrounding her at the time. Elizabeth didn't say much to answer these questions, as she likely wanted to keep personal information private, but Oprah wanted more. more. She began to reply sarcastically to Elizabeth by stating, "You're so revealing, you gotta stop talking so much, Miss Taylor," which then Elizabeth clapped back with, "This is what your friends wanted, right?" Which didn't seem to impress Oprah, as she then said, "I just want to know. Tell me so we can all go home. If you tell me, I'll go home." Prior to this interview, Elizabeth had actually given Oprah a heads up and told her to avoid questions about her relationship, but it didn't really seem like Oprah followed these requests, and she even came out to say that this interview was still painful to watch for many reasons, including her bad hair. I mean, especially with the heads up before the interview started, Oprah could have and definitely should have avoided this entire incident by simply following Taylor's requests. Number 6. Lance Armstrong. Cyclist Lance Armstrong tried to clear his name when he spoke to Winfrey about using performance-enhancing drugs. The host asked him several questions, including, "Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?" To which Armstrong quickly answered yes, admitting his wrongdoing and stating he would spend the rest of his life apologizing to people and trying to remedy the situation. The cyclist insisted that he was not doping when he returned in 2009, but the US Anti-Doping Agency CEO said Armstrong lied again. Also, anti-doping agency is kind of a crazy sentence and an even worse or better name. Despite Oprah's achievement in securing the interview, many spoke out about the flaws in the set and camera work as well as Armstrong's perceived lack of genuine remorse. Drawing comparisons to iconic TV confessions, the suggestion is made that Oprah could have taken a different approach to elicit more compelling responses from Armstrong. Many wonder if Armstrong would have agreed to the interview under a more critical stance, ultimately portraying Oprah as potentially too forgiving and going way too easy on the cyclist. Number 5. James Frey. In 2005, Oprah Winfrey's book club picked up the book from author James Frey, which was a memoir. Oprah spoke very highly of the book, giving it a glowing review, but after it was revealed that his memoir was actually comprised of mostly made-up stories, he went on Oprah's show to apologize and hopefully to clear his name. There he said, "I don't have a lot of respect for the genre," which, okay, pause, because why would you write a memoir then? It seems like you don't respect yourself at that point. He also claimed that he believed most people who wrote memoirs fabricated many of the stories within, so what he did wasn't that bad, I guess? He just got caught. I mean, like, if you're writing made-up stories, then you're just a fiction writer at that point. Time to release a dystopian series, James Frey, or wait, does he not respect that genre either? I guess he'd write fiction whether you respected it or not. Number 4. Lindsay Lohan. In the OWN docuseries featuring Lindsay Lohan titled Lindsay, Oprah Winfrey is seen urging Lohan to be truthful and cut out the nonsense in her quest for recovery. The unusual exchange raises concerns about the intertwining of Lohan's recovery process with the reality show format, seemingly unpacking her rehabilitation for public consumption and entertainment. This approach seemingly contradicts the principles of AA, which emphasizes private and anonymous recovery, and publicizing the struggle with addiction can hinder the chances of success. Many questioned Oprah's role in potentially exploiting Lohan's journey for the sake of entertainment, and noted the inherent risks of making the recovery process a public spectacle. While at the time this premise seemed to fit Lohan's dual goals of sobriety and making a comeback to the industry, many are still critical of Oprah to this day from seemingly exploiting Lindsay. Number 3. The Olsen sisters. They appeared in a 2004 interview with Oprah where they were confronted with rumors. At the time, the two sisters were 18 years old, and the rumors were regarding these girls and their eating habits. Oprah says, "I know a new rumor that's recently surfaced has really upset you, right? You know, the one about eating?" And the twins responded by saying, "Either you're too fat or you're too skinny. People are going to write what they want. We try not to read the good, the bad," and to that response it seems like they got the awkward question out of the way, right? Nope, because Oprah thought the appropriate follow-up question was, "What size are you, by the way?" And of course this clip resurfaced all over the internet in 2021, with many viewers feeling bad for the twins, especially because Oprah pointed that rumor out towards these young stars, which made some fans believe the twins were uncomfortable. Number 2. Sally Field. Oprah asked this actress an extremely uncomfortable and honestly inappropriate question regarding her former partner, Burt Reynolds, during a sit-down years ago. Winfrey asked Fields whether Burt slept with his toupee on or off, and for Fields' response, she went cold on Winfrey. Winfrey herself addressed this awkward interview back in 2021, where she revealed she now cringes at the thought of asking Fields that horrific and very surface-level kind of boring interview question. She also understands why Fields went cold following that question, but Oprah, as she said, knows she deserved it. Oprah does claim her producers said she had to ask Fields that question, which she did, and it caused Fields to completely shut off, and Oprah says they were both unable to get into the groove of the interview again. Number 1, Tom Cruise. This one was extremely popular and talked about. Though if we're being honest, I really don't see what all the fuss and uproar was about, but you know, whatever, it was early 2000s, I wasn't alive, whatever. This gets our first place spot due to the damage it was expected to do on the ultra famous Tom Cruise's career. While appearing on Oprah's talk show, Tom Cruise began jumping up and down on the couch like an actual child, screaming that he was in love and then air punching the floor or something like that. I'm honestly not sure. Tell me what you think he's doing, please, because I don't know. Anyway, Oprah's reaction to this whole ordeal is what actually makes this entire thing so awkward. She looks at him like he is actually insane, like he's this weird creature, which I mean, fair, but it creates a very awkward air that surrounds the entirety of the interaction. After the incident, Tom Cruise faced a lot of backlash in the up and coming tabloid universe and displayed for the first time just how much power and influence tabloids are capable of wielding.
So coming up first on the list, we have the NDAs. Now, confidentiality agreements are not uncommon in the world of Hollywood. Now, over 500 of Oprah's staff members were forced to sign the document, and one former employee, Elizabeth Cody, tried to write a book about her time working for Oprah, but she was apparently stopped by the courts as she was still tied to the agreement that she signed. The NDAs were not meant to be a way to keep just show secrets safe, but to keep any and all of Oprah's personal secrets safe as well. Now, according to Elizabeth, the document was signed by almost everyone in her life, on and even off of set. It's said that she may have this look of sweetness and kindness, but that's not how she is at all. Elizabeth felt that she was in Oprah's pocket after she signed the paperwork. Then in 2010, a lawsuit was filed against Oprah and her company after Unica's Performance Training claimed that they were fired for violating the terms of her agreement, specifically involving advertising with her name or the website of the show. Now up next, we have her stepmom exposing her. Now on air, Oprah is portrayed as a wholesome, sweet lady, but according to her stepmom, there is an unknown side to Oprah, hidden from fans for years. Now according to Barbara, who is her stepmom, Oprah may be one of the most controlling people you will ever meet in your entire life. She claims that Oprah would not allow them to stay at her house when they tried to visit, forcing them to stay in hotels with money out of their own pocket. Barbara also said that Oprah was quick to anger when it came to her staff, with several people being fired and left and right over the years, but couldn't come out about the situation because of the NDAs. But that's not all. Despite being a billionaire, Barbara allows Oprah to stay at her house for visits, something that Oprah actually hated. The first time she stayed over, Oprah allegedly complained that her bed sheets were not 1,000 threads and that her bath towels were not big enough. This woman has billions of dollars to do anything she wants, and what she wants is to make her family feel like a burden. Next up on the list, we have the supplement overload controversy. Now, Oprah has had plenty of controversial people on her show, from so-called medical experts to psychologists to celebrities. Now, whatever is good for TV is good for Oprah. Now, one particular incident that caused a ton of backlash for Oprah was when she did an interview with Suzanne Somers. Now, she was brought onto the show to share her beauty secrets and how she was able to look so young. Now, according to some, this treatment that she does on a regular basis will help, and Suzanne claimed that she rubs estrogen cream into her skin on one arm and smears progesterone into the other arm, and progesterone is a fancy way of saying steroids. She claimed that she took 60 supplements and vitamin A's a day, which was 40 in the morning and 20 before bed. What really stirred the pot was that this woman claimed to be a health expert and a self-author, but surprise, surprise, she actually was not. Medical experts actually started bashing Oprah, claiming that this type of extreme hormone therapy would actually be the cause of several diseases and illnesses like cancer. Now, despite Suzanne's claim that her specialty made non-FDA approved bioidenticals are natural and safe, they are actually just synthetic, conventional hormones that you can buy from a pharmacy. Now, Oprah did everything in her power to sell this idea to her audience, believing 100% that the methods were useful, even claiming that she had used the methods herself that made her feel so incredible. So this lady would rather risk her audience getting cancer than just telling the truth. Up next, we have her billionaire advocacy. Now, Oprah has been claiming to be many things since the Mao
Maui backlash has begun. Now, a good boss and a charitable woman and an advocate for the island of Maui. Now, by starting this fund and donating her spare millions, she had made her mark in the public as a woman who cares. So much that she is asking you to give her money. Isn't that so sweet? The main reason that people believe that Jason has not spoken on Oprah is because he knows that she is an absolute phony. So as mentioned, Oprah would not care about Maui or its people if she didn't have vested stake on the island. Now, Oprah has had property in Maui for quite some time, being almost a second home to her at times. When the fire started raging, she started fundraising. Up next, we have what the free and free really means. Now, who could forget Oprah's famous words, "You get a car"? Now, this moment was historical on her series and has been said over and over and over again. However, what almost no one knows is that it's not as simple as here, take the keys and drive away. Now, when someone gives out anything on television, there is always a catch. Now, for Oprah's audience, the catch was that if they actually wanted to drive away in their brand new car, they would actually have to pay over $7,000 in taxes first. Now, while Oprah's studio would cover the sales tax and registration for each car, the audience members were given a choice to either pay $7 grand and take the car, or simply just take the cash instead. Now, the infamous moment on the show featured 11 real teachers who were, according to Oprah, in desperate need of a new car. They, along with the audience, received keys in a box on camera that Oprah claimed to be their new car. Now, everything has a catch, even now. Now, for someone who is known for being charitable and generous, the word free clearly meant something different to Oprah. Now, up next on the list, we have Stand Up Cindy. Now, Cindy Crawford, who is a model and actress, has called Oprah out over their 1986 interview that took place on her show, where Oprah asked the then 20-year-old to expose herself to the crowd. Now, Crawford reflected on the interview in a new documentary called The Supermodels. The documentary focuses on the careers of several models like Linda Everlist and, of course, Cindy Crawford. Now, in a clip from the documentary, Winfrey is heard introducing the then aspiring supermodel to the Oprah Winfrey Show before she asked, "Did she always have this body? This is unbelievable, stand up." She actually made her stand up, and then she said, "This is what I call a body." Now, Cindy, as anyone else would be, was visibly uncomfortable and was standing up for the studio audience as they cheered when they showed off her figure. Now, according to Cindy, she felt like a child at the moment being told what to do by her superior. Now, she felt that at the moment, she was more of a show us why you're worthy of being here. Now, at the time, this was just some weird thing Oprah asked her to do, but it morphed and mutated into one of the most uncomfortable moments of her early years in modeling. Now, the most shocking thing for her was the fact that Oprah Winfrey, trying to tell her what to do, the woman known for her kindness and generosity, made her feel like a puppet. Now, up next, we have Where's the Beef? So in the spring of 1996, the United Kingdom apparently experienced an outbreak of mad cow disease. Now, according to the FDA, the disease destroys cows' central nervous system, and if humans eat the infected meat, we'll basically get sick and turn into zombies. But they can actually contract a deadly variant called Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. Now, during the mad cow scare, the Oprah Winfrey Show booked Howard Lyman, who was a rancher who adopted a vegetarian lifestyle and went to work for the Humane Society's Eating with Animal Welfare campaign, and he appeared on the show to discuss the threat of mad cow to Americans. He pointed out that feeding the remains of mad cows to already infected cattle or other animals could have facilitated the spread, and that those types of practices were common in the US. Now, Oprah was visibly disgusted and right then and there vowed that she would never eat a burger again. Now, her influence and her millions of viewers were so large that only a few hours after the episode aired and she declared she'd never eat a hamburger again, the price of beef stock plummeted, staying at an all-time low for over 2 months. One Texas rancher actually lost an estimated $6.7 million and organized a class action lawsuit against Oprah and her show for talking trash about American beef. Then, after a 6-week trial, she actually won, leaving one man with no farm and out of $1,000 in legal fees, all because she was disgusted. Now, up next, we have Oprah's stance on weight loss. Now, Oprah Winfrey has been called out for using weight loss medication despite being a longtime ambassador for Weight Watchers. Now, the famous talk show host has confirmed that she uses an unnamed substance to help her control her weight. Now, in a revealing conversation, Oprah said her new slim figure is thanks to the medication and a healthier lifestyle overall. She said, "I now use it as I feel I need it, and the fact that there's a medically approved prescription for managing weight and staying healthier in my lifetime feels like a relief, like a redemption, like a gift, and not something to hide behind and once again be ridiculed for." She went on to say, "I'm absolutely done with the shaming from other people and particularly myself." However, the fans felt the billionaire was being hypocritical given that she is a proud spokesperson for Weight Watchers, a company she has worked with since 2017. Now, next up on the list, we have her exposing herself. Now, Oprah is top on the list for getting exposed because she has been doing it to herself since day one. Now, her talk show is all about bringing the most vulnerable people onto the show to get views. She's brought violence victims, health experts, and fake psychologists and convicted felons onto her programs, all for the sake of profit. As the years went by, her style was adapted by more and more studios, creating shows like Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz, both equally as controversial. Now, not to mention a few years ago when she wrote a book detailing her early life and rise to the top, revealing some truly dark truths about her life at home. Now, she herself was considered to be a menace by her own family, but it seems to be whatever negative juju lived in the house rubbed off on Oprah 100%. Now, last on the list, we have Seal and Hank. This man may be known for his vocal chops, but he should be known for his meme-making abilities. Now, just days after the Golden Globes, Seal posted a meme on Instagram consisting of several photos of Oprah Winfrey cozying up with a man whose name I am not allowed to say on the internet because he is so horrendous. Now, he is the guy who produced half of Quentin Tarantino's movies, and he was actually the main cause of the Me Too movement, and for the rest of this segment, he will be referred to as Hank. So Oprah and Hank were photographed spending time together, and one photo even made it look like Oprah was pushing singer Rita Ora toward Mr. Hank. Now, Seal captioned the image saying a bunch of stuff that I can't quote here, but the meme itself said, "When you have been part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they all think you are the solution." I'm not sure how deep this feud goes on, but from the surface it seems that the Seal has been trying to warn us that something is up for years.
Number 10, underpaying celebrities. This past week on Instagram, Taraji P. Henson delivered a tearful interview that touched on her financial struggles and alluded to the fact that she was being underpaid. And all of this happened while she was promoting the new musical The Color Purple, which was produced by Oprah herself. During this interview, she expressed that she was tired of working hard and getting paid a fraction of what she deserved. In fact, at one point she said she was even contemplating leaving her acting career behind. She told the host that she hears people talk about how hard she works, but the math just isn't mathing. So there is an entire team of people above her that make the majority of the money in the film industry. She voiced her frustrations that every time she does something and breaks through another glass ceiling in Hollywood, when it comes time to negotiate, she is somehow at the bottom again, like she never did what she just did. So that wears on her mental health, because the question is, why? And what does it mean for her as an actor? Gabrielle Union was there and she backed up her claims, saying that there was not a word of a lie told by this woman. Viola Davis also reposted that clip to her Instagram, simply with the caption, "This," with a few hands pointing up. A little while back, Taraji was seriously considering leaving the US altogether and living in another country. Considering how stellar of an actor she is along with the rest of the cast, Hollywood really needs to get their act together and just pay their people. Number 9, blackballing. Now, this story is crazy. The famous comedian Monique has spoken out about confronting Oprah Winfrey over an episode of her talk show that involved her estranged family in 2010. She accused Oprah, as well as filmmakers Lee Daniels and Tyler Perry, of blackballing her in the industry. So in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Monique recounted the strain in her relationship with Oprah because of the time that the talk show host welcomed her estranged family, including her eldest brother, onto the show in 2010. Following her Oscar win that year,
year, Oprah informed Monique that her brother called her and wanted to be on the show to let parents know how they can watch out for creepy people. Apparently she said, "Do you want to come on the show? Because he wants to apologize to you." In response, she said, "Oprah, I don't want any part of that." While she gave her blessing to tape the show with her brother, she was horrified to see other family members like her parents and another one of her brothers downplay what actually happened to her. Number 8, dissing The View. While speaking on The View earlier this week, Oprah appeared to drop some major shade both towards the film The Color Purple and the people who were involved with The View. So the producers of The View were very upset that she would not be appearing alongside the cast of the film on one of their episodes. They were hoping to have a kind of reunion involving Whoopi Goldberg and Oprah, because as we know, they both starred in the 1985 version of The Color Purple. But that turned out to be a missed opportunity because Oprah did not appear on the program. The reason that The View was particularly annoyed with her absence is because she has been appearing on other talk shows to promote the film. She went on the Drew Barrymore show and Sherry Shepherd's Sherry. So around the same time, she gave a candid interview with People magazine about her recent weight loss and how she was aided by medication. But back to The View, despite Oprah's absence, the episode was well received and Whoopi said that she felt a strong connection with the people who did end up showing up. Number 7, that Drew Barrymore moment. It seems like Drew just cannot keep her hands to herself, and fans have become quite outraged at her behavior. The actress was blasted as cringy after uncomfortably caressing Oprah Winfrey on an episode of The Drew Barrymore Show. In the clip, the two of them were seen cozied up on the couch while talking about the importance of interacting with the studio audience. Drew tightly held onto Oprah's hand while running her other hand up and down her arm. She said, "Something that I learned about you, because I didn't know this in detail, was that you would spend time with the audience outside of the show you were filming." Oprah then seemed to be trying to get out of her grasp because she adjusted her seating position while answering that question. She said, "It is necessary. My crew used to be like, oh my god, how much time are you going to spend talking to the audience?" Drew then let go of her guest while she was preparing to ask something else. For her part, Oprah then started talking with her hands while applauding Drew for running the daytime talk show without an audience during the pandemic. Number 6, the NDAs. Confidentiality agreements are not uncommon in the world of Hollywood, as we know. In Kitty Kelly's tell-all book about Oprah, the author mentions the confidentiality agreements that co-workers and guest stars were made to sign. This included everyone from Tom Cruise to the person who made Tom Cruise's muffin. Over 500 staff members were forced to sign the document. Apparently, one former employee by the name of Elizabeth Cody tried to write a book about her time working for Oprah, but she was stopped by the courts because she was still tied to the agreement that she signed. These NDAs were not meant to be a way just to keep the show secret safe, but any and all secrets that Oprah kept as well. According to Elizabeth, the documents were signed by almost everyone in her life. Now, she might have this brand of sweetness and kindness, but that is not exactly how she is. Elizabeth felt that she was in Oprah's pocket after she signed the paperwork. In 2010, a lawsuit was filed against Oprah and her company, Unica's Performance Training, claiming that they were being fired for violating the terms of her agreement, specifically involving the advertising with her name or the website of the show. Number 5, strange beliefs. Oprah has had plenty of controversial people on her show, from the so-called medical experts to psychologists and even celebrities. But one particular incident that caused a lot of backlash for her was when she did an interview with Suzanne Summers. She was brought onto the show to share her beauty secrets about how she was able to look so young. According to Summers, this treatment that she does on a regular basis will help, and she claims that she rubs estrogen cream into her skin on one arm and smears progesterone in her other arm. She also claimed that she took 60 supplements and vitamins a day, 40 in the morning and 20 before bed. What really stood the pot was that this woman claimed to be a health expert and a self-help author, but surprisingly, she was not. Medical experts started bashing Oprah, claiming that this type of extreme hormone therapy would actually be the cause of several diseases and illnesses, potentially even cancer. Despite Suzanne's claim that her specially made, non-FDA approved bioidenticals are natural and are safe, they are actually just synthetic, conventional hormones that you could buy from a pharmacy. So Oprah did everything in her power to sell this idea to her audience, believing 100% that the methods were useful, even claiming to have used these methods to make her feel incredible. This person would rather risk her audience potentially getting cancer than just tell them the truth. Number 4, the car situation. So everyone knows Oprah's famous words, "You get a car, and you get a car, and everyone gets a car." This was a historical moment of her series, and it was parodied time and time again. In fact, it is still memed to this day. However, what many people don't know is that when someone gives out anything on television, there is always a catch. Of course there is. For Oprah's audience, the catch was that if they wanted to drive away in their brand new car, they would have to pay over $7,000 in taxes first. While Oprah's studio would cover the sales tax and the registration for each car, their audience members were given a choice to either pay the $7,000 or simply take the cash instead. The infamous moment on the show featured 11 real teachers who were, according to Oprah, in desperate need of a new car. They, along with the audience, received keys in a box that was all caught on camera that Oprah claimed to be there for the new car. But of course, everything has a catch. For someone who was known as being charitable and generous, the word free clearly means something completely different to Oprah. Number 3, fake memoir. Oprah launched her book club in 1996 and had a reading encouragement segment on her talk show where she talked about any book that she chose into a bestseller. In September of 2005, Oprah picked A Million Little Pieces, a brutal and painful memoir by James Brett about his years-long struggle with substance issues. A Million Little Pieces became the best-selling non-fiction book of the year, and Frey was asked to appear on her talk show to discuss the book that Oprah called gut-wrenching. But the following year, a news outlet ran an explosive article about Frey after it was discovered that he had either made up or juiced large portions of his memoir. For example, there is a section of the book that tells a story of Frey surviving a fatal train crash that took the lives of 2 teenagers. But it turned out that he was never on that train, nor did he have any involvement in that situation. Weeks after the article broke, Oprah asked Frey to return to the show where he faced livid viewers and an even more livid Oprah. She told James that she felt duped and betrayed, a feeling that was shared by her audience and millions of readers around the world. She asked James why he felt the need to lie to herself and her readers, and he tried everything, making every excuse in the world. He claimed that he altered a lot of details, but that the overall plot was still real. The studio audience then responded with a massive wave of boos, gasps, and groans. Winfrey later apologized for the mistreatment from her audience, as it was not her intention. But by that point, the damage was already done. Number 2, Whoopi Goldberg. In author Kitty Kelly's unauthorized Oprah biography, Kelly claims that Whoopi Goldberg became a persona non grata, aka unwelcome to Oprah, after Whoopi was nominated for an Oscar for her role in The Color Purple. The book noted that following the honor, the comedian never appears on Oprah's show again, and was noticeably shunned from her 2006 Legends Ball. It wasn't until Oprah invited the entire cast of The Color Purple onto the show that the so-called feud was addressed. It turned out that Oprah had actually ran into Whoopi at Tyler Perry's party sometime after the 2006 snub, and Whoopi confronted her, leading to an adorable moment between them. She asked Oprah why she was mad, to which Oprah replied, "Why am I mad at you? I thought you were mad at me." And after this, they mutually agreed that they really should have just picked up the phone a long time ago and settled the dispute. And coming in at number 1, Cindy Crawford. The model and actress called out Oprah over her 1986 interview that took place on her talk show, where Oprah asked the then 20-year-old to expose herself to the crowd. Cindy reflected on the interview in a new documentary called The Supermodels on Apple TV+. This documentary spotlights the careers of several models like Naomi Campbell, Linda Evangelista, and of course Cindy Crawford. So in a clip from the documentary, Oprah is heard introducing the then aspiring supermodel to the Oprah Winfrey Show before she asked, "Did she always have this body? This is unbelievable. Stand up. Now that is what I call a body." At this point, Cindy is visibly uncomfortable, and then she stands up before the studio audience cheered and showed off her figure. According to Cindy, she felt like a child in that moment being told what to do. She felt that the moment was more of a show us why you're worthy of being here type of situation. At the time, this was just some weird thing that Oprah asked her to do, but eventually it morphed and mutated into one of the most uncomfortable moments of her early years in modeling. The most shocking thing for her was the fact that this was Oprah Winfrey trying to tell her what to do. The woman who was supposedly known for her kindness and generosity also made her feel like a puppet.